Hey, everybody, welcome to Live Fully, Lead Authentically. My name is Kurt Busch. I'm your host. My co host, Chris Godfredson, is not able to be with us today. I'm sure he would very much love to be here to talk to our guest today, our new friend, Karine Velitska. She is a neurosomatic breathwork facilitator, certified life coach, speaker, and author of Dear Me letters. After transitioning from a finance career at the European Central Bank, she dedicated her work to helping people reconnect with themselves, regulate their nervous system, and create meaningful change from a place of inner safety rather than self-pressure. Drawing from her experience as a former national squash champion, corporate professional, and her own personal transformation journey, Karine combines nervous system education, breath work, coaching, and storytelling to help others build emotional resilience, authenticity, and lasting self-trust. Thank you so much for being here, Karine.
Hi, Kurt. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
I am too. We hop on these calls before we record, and I just loved my conversation with you. I think there's so much overlap in the work we do and the way we think about work. I can't wait for our listeners to hear it. But first, I have the hardest question of the entire podcast. Are you ready for that?
I'm not sure now, but let's do it.
So let's pretend for a second in front of you there is a bowl that is overflowing with every candy that's ever been candied, if I can use that as a verb. Every
Mhm.
candy that's ever been made. In the US here, we would say that this is Halloween candy. You know, you give out to kids. What candy in this heaping bowl of candy are you going to go to first?
I love it so much. I have this. I'm not sure if you have it in the US. Do you have toffee? Do you know what it
No,
is?
no.
Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It's like you have a walnut within it, and then it's full with chocolate and salted caramel, and I just absolutely love it and adore it.
That sounds amazing. That sounds so good.
If you ever come to Europe, that has to be on
Okay.
your to-do list.
Noted. Noted. All the listeners, you heard it too. If you get to Europe, you got to try it. I think it's so interesting. Some people go to chocolate, other people go to like sour or like the sugary kind of like gummy candies. So I'm going to chalk one up here again for chocolate. Chocolate is far ahead of the other kind of gummy candies for sure.
Oh my God, I love the answer so much because it's such a guilty pleasure for me to get this. I cannot even begin to tell you. And the worst thing is that when I get it, I eat all of it at the same time. So it's like either I don't eat it at all or all of it at the same time. So I have
I
to be
love that.
careful.
Does this come in like a regular candy bar size?
No.
No.
You have like 20 pieces inside, and I eat all of them at the same time. So it's better if you hide it from me.
I just am getting pictures of you like sitting on your couch with this bag, like guiltily, like making sure nobody's looking. But hey, listen,
Exactly.
listen, I think we all have those moments. I love that. Thanks for saying that.
It's the
Well,
perks of living alone. Nobody can really judge me, you know?
I love that. I love that. Well, now that we have the hard question out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. I again, I loved my conversation with you, but can you say or is there anything else you want to say about your work that your bio didn't cover, or maybe like how would you answer the question, why do you do this work?
The reason why I do it is so simple because I went through a journey and now I want people to have the shortcut so they don't have to navigate the dark alleys alone. And what I'm focusing most is closing the gap between success and fulfillment
Mm.
because I was quite successful in my life. I had a very good life and it was difficult to get out of it, but I really needed to search for my passion and fulfillment because I was just tired to feel like I am, alone in this, or I feel like there's more in life, but I'm not able to access it. So I'm just trying to navigate people through this, and I do it also through the neurosomatic breath work to help them expand the capacity
Yeah.
and also help with coaching to bring the mindset in, to help positive thinking and bringing the vision and also building that dream life that sometimes we might be scared to actually live.
Yeah. I have so many questions. I kind of just want to I want to say the floor is yours. Just talk because everything you said there, I think is gold. But I'm going to try to compose some thoughts in a way that's helpful instead of just saying, why don't you just talk for 35 minutes? Um, would you say more about the difference between success and fulfillment? I think that's when you said that, I think that was like an aha, like, okay, these are different. I wonder if the listeners feel the same. How would you differentiate those two things?
Yeah, first of all, I love discussing this with the clients and asking what does success actually mean?
Mm,
Because usually success means that it is something external validation or approval from other people, trying to please maybe our parents, our culture, our society, and actually not doing it for our own pleasure and fulfillment. So that's why I differentiate the two,
yeah,
but I'm never really trying to shame wanting to be successful
yeah,
and wanting to be ambitious because I am a person who is very deeply ambitious.
yeah,
I just needed to find the fulfillment in all of it.
yeah,
And the fulfillment comes when we align what is internally and what we do externally.
yeah.
And that's what I'm focusing on. So, how to align the nervous system with what I'm actually doing. So, that's basically the difference. I'm never saying that we cannot be successful. I'm just saying, how can we bring our fulfillment in and how to do it from the heart?
Yeah, that's so good. I think there's often a danger of landing in this kind of binary posture that says I'm either fulfilled or I'm successful.
Yeah.
I think it's really helpful to hear you say like this is not a binary conversation. There are ways to be successful, and in your words, aligned. I love the idea of alignment. Um, when would you say you began to notice there was misalignment in your own life, in your own success versus fulfillment? How did you become aware of misalignment?
I became aware of misalignment the moment I started to connect to myself
Mm,
because I was very much doing everything externally. I went to a good university. I had a job at the European Central Bank, which is a very good institution, one of the best ones in Europe. And only when I got there and I was like, this is it. This is the highest peak of my life. I have managed to come to the European Central Bank. What is more?
mm,
But then I was hit with this feeling that, but it's not enough.
yeah.
So what am I doing wrong? Why is this still a hole inside of me? And I had to face the reality that it's actually the internal dissatisfaction, not
Mm,
because of my circumstances, because I had great parents, great friends. I was at a really good job, but it was not coming from the inside out.
mm,
And when I started to go to therapy, when I started to do meditation and journaling, I started to see the pattern that I'm not doing it from my own heart,
mm,
but I just followed a certain script.
yeah.
And now I am adult. And that means that I have to be responsible for my life. And I have to face these feelings that I have been trying to avoid. And, it came with a lot of guilt and shame and embarrassment because I have such a good life and I'm still unfulfilled. And then starts the comparison like maybe some other people have it worse. So why am I so ungrateful?
Yeah.
And when all of these different feelings started to come up, I started to shut down. And then I had to face these feelings of, okay, I'm trying to avoid the reality. And only when I started to dig deeper, what is under the surface, and I started to connect with my inner self, with the authentic self, was I able to start tuning in and start creating from that place.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Are you sure you don't want to just talk for 35 minutes? Because
Thank you.
I think th these stories are so helpful. I imagine there's listeners that are thinking, "Oh, I feel the same thing. I'm at the peak, but something still isn't right." Where do you think, and this is a philosophical question, where do you think this script comes from? I think we would all resonate with this idea that we should do something or we should be something. Where do you think we find these scripts?
I honestly think it's, first of all,
Hmm.
family surroundings, family setting. Then it's also cultural and societal.
Yeah.
And, I don't find it as a bad thing because everybody wants us to have a good life.
Yeah.
And there are these scripts which make sense, which are realistic. So then people try to guide you on that path.
Yeah.
And honestly, also I was doing a decision when I didn't know myself at all. Nobody really teaches you or asks you, what do you really want to do in life from a place of alignment? Or how do you tune to your body to find the answers within? So even our educational system does not really prepare you for getting to know yourself. They prepare you for what makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's where this is coming from. And also my family, they were trying to help me, and they did. They gave me great education. They gave me a really good path forward. I just had to become honest that it was not my path.
Yeah.
So it really comes from a place of what we view in a society as rational. And sometimes instead of listening to our intuition, because also I did not understand what does it mean, listen to your intuition. And I was so frustrated when people told me to do so and listen to your guts. But honestly, I didn't know myself enough to know, is it a pattern that is actually unhealthy, or is it intuition? How do I listen to myself?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it honestly comes from where we are born, what we are born into.
Yeah.
And then it's our choice and responsibility to start listening and tuning in to the internal alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. If Chris was here, he would say that we believe that everybody's formed. The question is what and who is forming us. It's this idea that probably we all have a script. None of us are without a script. The question is, who, as you said so beautifully, like whose script is it, and are we intentionally choosing the script, or are we just receiving what's been handed to us as the truth, as the way, right? I think that's really good. You said some words like embarrassment and shame and guilt. And if I heard you right, you said you kind of felt those as you were realizing that I've got this script that maybe isn't aligned with my inner self. Would you be willing to say more about those feelings? Because I think our listeners are gonna really resonate with those feelings. Would you say more about that?
Yes, I would be very happy to share this because indeed it's also for me to share it at the beginning. I felt like I don't want these feelings to belong to me, and they're bad feelings, and I should be disconnected from these bad feelings. But actually, now I started to see emotions as signals of the body, as something that is giving me the information to actually connect to myself even deeper.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were so many mixed feelings about this because I was raised to be, the good girl or the
Mhm.
one that is accommodating. And I had a lot of people pleasing to overcome and overgiving. So there were many things that I had to solve, or actually, no, I don't like the word solve because we're not solving. We're
Yeah.
trying to get to know ourselves a little bit better. So I was just trying to understand these feelings.
Yeah.
And it was basically going to this new path. It requires a lot of energy
Mhm.
and courage and dedication. And motivation itself is not enough because that fades away. And it really had to be an internal decision to keep choosing myself every single day.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of guilt because I was diverting on a new path. So it felt like I'm being disloyal to my family, to the internal system that I have learned. And that's why all of these very mixed feelings came into the play because I was very proud of myself. And at the same time, I felt guilty for choosing
Yeah.
differently. And there was also a lot of embarrassment and shame because I had to accept and speak it out loud that I don't like this life that
Mhm.
people celebrated me for.
Yeah.
And that's why these feelings started to come in. And I even lost some friends because when you start going on a different journey, you become a mirror to people.
Yeah.
So I started to also have a lot of sadness and loneliness because I was suddenly alone in certain parts of my life.
Yeah.
And that's why it was difficult to navigate the journey. And that's why I always preach to have people supporting you, asking for the help. I really believed for a long time that asking for help means that I'm weaker because I'm not independent. But actually, I found that there are people who are few steps ahead of me who can actually understand what I'm going through, who can maybe give me their helping hand and help guide me on the other side. And that's actually also very much connected to my book, Dear Me Letters,
Mhm.
where I'm exploring these feelings and saying that you can get lost on the journey, but it is the decision to find yourself again.
Yeah. So good, so good. I'm imagining the audience is like, yes, I know that feeling. One of the ways we think about this is that when we start to change ourselves, it's like changing the dance on a dance floor where maybe I'm doing a different dance, and others are either going to try to get me to change the dance I'm doing, or they're going to try to get me to leave the dance floor because it's highly uncomfortable if I'm doing a different dance in a system that's used to doing one dance. And I think that's really profound. I I often wonder too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we don't need to go super deep into this, but I always think about the resistance to this sort of change that our systems have. We're all part of systems. Um, I always find it important to think about, resistance can mean that we're, going the wrong direction or that we're, having negative impacts on our relationship. But resistance can also mean that I'm doing a lot of really good work. Resistance can indicate positive growth and positive steps towards maturity. And I think there's a delicacy of understanding which resistance it is that I think comes in community, which is exactly what you just said, that doing this with support helps us kind of gauge, am I changing the dance in a way that's fruitful for me, or am I changing the dance in a way that's literally just making everybody angry? I mean, do you want to say anything about that?
First of all, beautiful visual about the dance floor. I love when things can be, we can imagine what we are talking about. And, the resistance always comes in every type of change. And it is part of the process. And what I have learned on my own path, and that's what I'm also very often saying, is that we cannot change from one day to the other. We cannot change in a big, loud way, even though we want to, because the big, loud way of change, it can be celebrated, can be validated, but we need to go step by step in small, consistent steps. And here, what I have found on my journey, why I have been so lost, which is that I knocked down my pillar
Mm,
of self, of understanding who I am, of sense of safety. And then I started to claim back up and build a new pillar. But then it caused that there was no pillar at all. So I had to reconstruct it from nothing. And there was this sense of void for a period of time, which was very difficult way of being. It is where the Dear Me letters have been created. That's why they are so very raw, honest, and intimate. But what I'm trying to do also with coaching is we first build a new pillar and we start to see how it looks like, what are the dreams, helping the nervous system feel safe with these changes, and only then knock the old pillar down. And this old voice will keep coming up because it's trying to make us feel safe. It is
yeah,
our coping mechanisms that helped us survive.
yeah,
But really, it is how can we become friends with the fear and friends with the resistance? And what can it actually teach us? Because very often I felt like the resistance can actually tell me where are my limits, what are the limiting beliefs, what are the contradictions that are holding me back.
yeah. Karine, I think you've been reading our mail because Chris and I will often say, resistance, embarrassment, guilt, shame, all these things. Like, what are they trying to teach us? Like, what are they trying to say to us? And what do we have to learn from them? You just dipped a toe into the next place I wanted to go, and that was the nervous system. I want to ask, can you say a little more about the role of the nervous system and I think you did just a little bit, but is there anything else you want to say about the role of the nervous system in uh, creating and maintaining the scripts that we live into?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say how much I love that we resonate with this so much
Yeah.
because it means that we are also bringing in the nervous system and bringing the body into the conversation.
Yeah.
And this has been my missing piece for years of going to coaching or therapy because very often we can go to the cognitive thinking of rationalizing our emotions and understanding our life. But I have a saying that I can understand things rationally, but I cannot understand them emotionally because I can understand why I need to let go of a person who might be pulling me down.
Mm.
But emotionally, it feels so scary.
Yeah.
And that's why when we talk about the nervous system, I work through neurosomatic breathwork and I'm connecting or I'm guiding the people to connect to their body.
Mm.
And that alone can already stir a lot of emotions because we are so disconnected from our bodies and we override our needs to please others because we
Mm.
think that that's what gives us friends, that's what gives us approval. And we have the idea of love being very conditional and transactional. And that's why I really try to guide people to finding themselves through the connection to the body, through helping the nervous system release the stress and release the emotional overload. And also, it's for me about expanding the capacity because we have a certain capacity of what we can handle. And through the body work, we can actually grow and expand much bigger so that
Mm.
these dreams, we can actually hold them.
Yeah.
So that's the work that I do, and it's so beautiful. And I have also found that people already after just a few, maybe sometimes even after the first session, they're like, I didn't know I have a body and it has needs. So it's like people have so many insights just from the understanding that we can listen to the body. I don't know,
Yeah.
what is your experience?
Yeah. So I always do you know the Enneagram at all? Are you familiar with the Enneagram?
I've heard about it, but I'm not really sure right now.
It's okay. It's one of these kind of personality typing sort of models, and I am a people pleaser at my core. So when you ask me a question about me, I'm feeling a resistance of like, no, you're the guest. Why would I talk about me? But I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna put my people pleasing aside for just a second. Yeah, I mean, I think how I think about this in my own experience is um, I can look back at a time in my life where I was terrified that someone was going to see me as incompetent. That
Mm,
that that the next paper I submitted getting my master's degree or the next assignment at work that I got wrong, like that was going to be the moment where everybody was going to say, "See, we knew he didn't belong." And
mm,
that was sort of the exit ramp out of whatever good thing I felt like I had going, right? And I can trace that back to middle school. Like I can trace that back to being like 11 or 12. Like I know where this comes from. Uh, but as an adult, before I understood anything about my nervous system, before I understood anything about self-awareness or the scripts that we've been handed, I remember feeling the analogy I like to use is I was just white knuckling my life. Like I was holding on. And
which
so,
one?
we get a lot of snow and ice here in the winter.
Uh,
And when you drive a car in snow and ice, the instinctual response is to hold the steering wheel so tight that your knuckles turn white. Um, so you white knuckle the steering wheel, and the idea is like I need to keep control of this car, and I'm just hold on so tight. When in reality, driving in snow and ice in the Midwest of the U.S., the best way to do it is to hold really loosely, so you can like let the car kind of do its thing. Like abrupt movements are real bad in the Midwest on ice. So the goal is like I'm going to let up a little bit. I'm not going to white knuckle. Um, so the analogy I like is I was kind of white knuckling life, trying to maintain control, so I never lost control. And here's the punchline: I thought that was normal, right? I thought this was just what everybody did. I thought this was
mm,
what every leader in corporate America did. I thought this is what every master's degree student must be doing. I never once thought like, oh, this is attached to something where my nervous system is trying to keep me safe. I never knew that there was
mm,
not a real threat, if that makes sense, right? I I thought the threat was just ever present. So to have someone, a decade ago begin to tell me, hey, is the threat real? Like your nervous system is a gift, right? We are born with these nervous systems and they are a gift and they keep us safe. And if a grizzly bear walked in my office right now, I would need my nervous system to jump in and keep me safe. But my nervous system also doesn't do a great job of assessing, is that threat really real? So I think that worked for me to say, what is it trying to teach me? How do I learn from it? And how do I honor it while saying, hey, I don't know that I need you in this moment. I don't know that this threat is as real as you think it is. And to be able to do some of that work. So that's sort of my experience. And that I think that's why your work resonates so deeply. Um, is I think there's so much work that says, understand yourself, know your emotions, but misses the nervous system piece, misses that sort of protection piece, misses the sort of beauty of the work it's doing while also maybe doing too much. And I think again that's why your work resonates because it captures that so beautifully.
I love what you say that the nervous system is a gift. That is such a beautiful sentence. And it really is. It's about learning to hear the signals of the body. So it can tell you, I feel like I'm being scared right now.
Yeah,
Is there a threat or not? And that's where the connection between the mind and the body can begin. That we
yeah,
can silence or soften the voices.
yeah, yeah. Chris and I don't know if you know this. Chris and I have some pastoral background. Our education is in theology, and yeah, I mean, I think our neck of the woods here, where we kind of live and have grown up, this sort of Midwest U.S., really likes to separate the physical from the emotional.
Mm.
And I think that's been kind of a growing edge of like, no, we are but one self, right? Like we have one self made up of parts, and aligning
Mm.
those and integrating those is the gift. Like that's the invitation.
Yeah, I love
So,
that. Yeah.
okay, can I ask a question about your work?
Yes, please.
Yeah, tell us more about the breathing, the breath work that you do, because I think this is fascinating. I'd love to hear more about it.
The type of breathwork I do is actually quite unique because usually in the traditional breathwork sessions, you're laying down on your mat and you're trying to continuously breathe.
Mm,
But the type of breathwork I do is actually anchoring with the breath, but then using the movement of the body, using the sound, and also having allowance to allow the body to express itself.
mm,
So it's literally dropping to your body and helping it release through movement, through sound, through the breath, anything that it has been holding on to.
yeah,
And I have to tell you, I have seen so many clients that are so uncomfortable with letting go.
yeah,
And some of these practices, they're very simple because the body is very simple. We have just learned to complicate things, but the
yeah,
somatic exercises are quite simple, but people have very huge issue with just allowing the voice to be heard.
yeah,
Many people have so many limitations. And with the movement of the body, I'm guiding to circular movement because when we bring the circular movement, we're kind of getting out of the box. And I can already see the amount of tension in the shoulders, in the hips. And it is
yeah,
also because we hold the stress usually in the joints.
yeah,
And then you can see that when we start the work, already after a few minutes, you can see that, okay, this feels uncomfortable, but they need a lot of feeling of safety to really let go.
yeah,
And that's the beautiful thing. And when we really start to connect to the body, the emotions start popping up because we feel like the emotions are unwanted. We're trying to avoid them most of the time. And the breath work helps you stay present, but it also forces you in a very gentle way to open up towards them and see them for what they are.
yeah,
And the neurosomatic breathwork I do, it's about being compassionate to the body. So it's a lot of grounding. We do come into activation, so going towards more movement, more breath, and increasing our heart rate, because that's when the emotional release can happen and where the loops of stress can finish. But then we need to come back to the body again, ground, soothe, and integrate the whole experience. So it is quite special, and there are so many ways that we can connect to the body, but we just need to be willing to be in the present moment and connect.
Yeah. What's the resistance, do you think? Because I'll be honest, I probably might feel some I mean, I think many of us have a resistance to like feeling the emotions that we've been trying to not feel. But what do you think that resistance is?
And I have some resistance and I'm doing the work
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm facilitating the breath work. And sometimes I'm like, I want to dissociate. I don't want to look at these feelings and actually face them
Yeah.
because we have been programmed to dissociate, to detach. And it's difficult to attach back. It's difficult to connect because we have so many years of avoidance
Yeah.
that I thought and I feared that once I do connect, all of this is going to come back rushing in and I will have to
Mm.
solve all of it at the same time. And especially, this is what I'm trying to let people understand is that the work needs to be progressive,
Yeah.
consistent, and gradual. But there are so many courses these days that are trying to fix you in 3 months, in 90 days.
Yeah.
And that is not the point. The point is not to fix ourselves, to trying to, in a very quick way, solve all of our issues. This is about creating relationship with ourselves, with the body, learning the signals of the body, learning to tune in, to understand. So that's why people are so resistant. That's why I have been so resistant to it, because it is not about fixing. We love to fix problems and see the deadline of the issues.
Yeah.
But the work of the body is unpredictable and you never know what you're going to uncover.
Yeah. Two things. First, thank you for vulnerability. There is something so refreshing when a coach says, I feel resistance too. Thank you for naming that. I think the other thing, if Chris was here, he would say two things. Um, he would say there's nothing to fix in us, right? There's nothing to
Mhm.
fix. And he would say practice makes progress, not
Yeah.
practice makes perfect. And I think that resonates so deeply. Um, okay, I think we could probably do this for at least another 6 hours. So maybe there's a part two, three, four, five, six, whatever we need. Uh, I'm looking at the clock. I want to honor your time. I want to end like this. Uh, Two questions. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners, to the audience that you haven't had a chance to say about your work or just to them? And how do people find you and find your work?
I love by saying that there are so many tools out there, and it's really about what suits us the best. And I have been exploring and I have been trying out different things, and it really comes down to what supports the body the best.
Mm,
And many people go to meditation and don't try to cling to things that you have already chosen. It's okay to let go and go a different direction. We are adults, we can make choices and decisions and pivot, and sometimes we can find ourselves in uncertainty, not knowing how to go forward. And it's always we can fall back into ourselves and see how can I support myself and feel safety in my body, who I can find as a support and who I have as my surroundings that I can already feel safe in.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really about the compassion and how to navigate finding that in our lives. The way to find me is on my website. It's my surname, my name.com. So it's velitskakarin.com. And I have there all about the coaching, the breath work. I also have there my community that I have on Substack where I'm writing blogs, where I'm going deeper into the vulnerability, authenticity, and then on Instagram or LinkedIn under my name. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and I'll put for listeners, I'll put clickable links to those in the show notes below. I cannot recommend enough. Check her out, check her work out. I've loved this conversation. Thank you so much, Karine, for joining me. I wish Chris was here. I think we'll have a follow-up of some sort, but thank you so much for being here, but also just thank you for the work you do. Thank you for putting the effort in to make the world a better place, to make people more whole, to make communities more whole. It's just been a gift to talk to you.
Thank you so much, and same to you. I felt really, really happy and honored to be here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.